Welcome to Indie Tarot. Today we're going to be doing a study session on the King of Water. In the morning before I head to work, I randomly select a card in my deck to focus my energy, allow the image to speak to me, and then before I call it a day, I say out loud what the overall message of the card is, and then I cross-reference what is in the guidebook. The King of Water is part of the Dreams of Gaia tarot deck. Here you have it. And it's the only deck that I have. It's my first and only deck that I own. And this was my introduction to tarot. So me personally, I'm very connected to this deck. I hear that it's not like your typical tarot deck, or it's like a tarot deck and an oracle deck. And the way I see this deck is that this is just a tarot deck and it is speaking to me. But I do think because I don't know if it has to do with me being so new to tarot. I do think that part of my development is spending time with the card and allow the card to speak to me throughout the day. So we're going to go ahead and get started. The King of Water is is part of the water signs, not a water sign, but it's part of the water court, I believe, from the Dreams of Gaia. It's about emotion and the feelings and how that is shaping the way that we're experiencing our reality. The King of Waters is special because it represents a figure, like a masculine figure, that is supportive, that understands the troubles that you may be going through, is also understanding the important accomplishments that you've had, but approaches the situation in a way that allows you to discover things for yourself, that doesn't give you all the answers, but believes that through your mistakes, you're going to learn a lot more than him telling you what to do in a particular circumstance. I forgot to mention perception. I'm not sure if I mentioned this, but perception, which is on the left-hand side. This card was talking to me yesterday, and yesterday I did a Pride Month, a special edition tarot reading. And that card was already speaking to me even before I did that tarot reading. So I have it on the video just because there might be a message coming through later on. For example, the King of Water, because this figure doesn't give you all the answers. It kind of wants you to learn by experience. We may perceive this figure as distant, as someone that doesn't want to help you, maybe someone that doesn't even understand what you may or may not be going through. But in reality is that you haven't grasped their approach, that they're approaching the situation in a more internalized way, that they do support you and they want you to be successful, but they also realize that you need to experience the world and allow the world to shape you, because the world is a rough world. It's an imperfect, unfair world. This figure understands this, so the King of Water very well knows this. And for you to find a balance of, why am I part of this? Why do I live this reality where people don't understand me, or where I'm so different that it only seems that I connect with a small group of people? This figure understands that that's your reality, and wants you to find a balance where you're able to accept that for yourself, but also able to accept the world as it is and not feel like you're hopeless. You know, sometimes you just have to accept that things are the way that they are, and we can't let the situation or the reality make us feel hopeless, like it's not worth living anymore. So if this figure may very well be in your life right now, but because of the way that we're perceiving it, maybe we're looking for a little bit more, maybe we're looking for more, how do I say this, more guidance or a little bit more communication from this figure. We perceive it as this figure is not really supporting me, when in reality they are, but they're supporting you in a different way. So that's kind of like what the overall message was that I received throughout the day, from just the image alone. So I'm gonna go ahead. This is the part where I dive into the guidebook, and I dive deep into what the card was supposed to mean. And it looks like this is actually the last card in the deck. So it'd be interesting to see what if the deck is a story, it would be interesting to see what the end of this story may be. So the King of Water is calm, contemplative, insightful, fluid, balanced, protective, nurturing, jealousy, possessiveness. So key phrases: safe harbor in a storm, let go of gender bias, strength born of adaptability, be present in your relationship, a need for excitement, marry critical thinking, and emotional logic. I kind of see that. That's kind of like, I think, what I was pulling from earlier. This is a critical thinker that has emotion, but is using that emotion in a way that you're gonna learn, I guess, the hard way. He's gonna want you to go through fire in order for you to be stronger on the other side. Allow your feelings to guide a decision. Address a cause for jealousy. I think that might be the blockage. A King of Water represents a strong man who is calm and protective, like a safe harbor in a storm. He is nurturing, caring father who embraces no gender-specific role. He is willing to be both mother, father, nurturer, and protector, homemaker, and provider. As a partner, he is loving and supportive, a gentle but passionate and sensual lover, and someone who is not afraid to explore and experiment. So I think this is the part where, this is why I like reading the guidebook. I'm getting more than what I initially got from this card. So from what she's saying, and this deck is by Raven Phelan. She's saying that this is I guess a masculine figure, but they don't see, this particular person may not identify as masculine or feminine because they don't abide by any specific gender role. He loves to use his senses because to do so is to elicit an emotional response, and he is willing to look within and explore those emotions to increase his understanding. He is a person who has successfully married critical thinking and emotional logic, the process of using one's emotions and feelings in a logical manner to become more knowledgeable and aware, and uses this to his advantage. He is aware that all decision making has an emotional element and that no decision can be balanced without emotions and feelings being taken into account. He is aware that all decision making has an emotional element and that no decision can be balanced without emotions and feelings being taken into account.